afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Stock Market Today. Alyssa Corum and Ken Shreve here with a look at today's action, where it was a down day, but we were able to finish off the lows. And Ken, a number of reversal opportunities presented themselves.
Yes, indeed, including InMode, ticker INMD, which is a leaderboard stock. We'll also take a look at Roku, which continues to set up nicely, along with Upwork, UPWK. So those are the three stocks.
All right, sounds good. First, let's analyze the market action. Here's a look at the NASDAQ composite, which finished down 0.7% on the day, but as you can see, well off of its intraday lows. We also had the S&P 500 down at 0.9%, and the Dow down 0.75%. The Russell 2000 down about 0.9% for the day. So Ken, it was a little bit of an ugly day, but not as bad as it could have been. And there were some silver linings too.
Well, right before we went on the air for IBD Live this morning, I mean, indexes were down 1.3, 1.4% in pre-market trading, and there were, sellers in the market when we opened. But you can see the NASDAQ composite showed that there are still buyers around. So I think the bulls have reasons to be encouraged by the price action today. Negative sentiment was fueled early by another big drop in the 10-year Treasury yield, all the way down to 1.25%. You remember the market was pretty spooked when the yield went all the way up to 1.76%. The market didn't like rising bond yields because the bond market is saying, hey, listen, inflation is going to be an issue. The Fed is going to, his hand is going to be forced, so we're going to have to raise interest rates maybe sooner than expected. And then the 10-year yield started to tumble, and we've got this Delta variant that is kind of raising questions about worldwide economic growth. Not only across the pond, but also in the U.S. So we'll see if this 10-year yield can firm up. But so the market didn't like rising yields, and the market doesn't like falling yields either.
And from a technical perspective, how much worse could it get? I mean, would a real test maybe of the 21-day line not be out of the question at this point?
Well, you can see we really didn't come that far from it today, where the NASDAQ hit that low. So, I mean, a test of the 21-day line would be fine. The NASDAQ during its most recent uptrend came pretty close to a test of the 21-day line a couple of different times. A pullback to the 50-day moving average would be pretty steep from here. Certainly, that would serve to shake out excesses that have been built up in the market. But at this point, I would say, let's see if we test the 21-day moving average. It came close to a test today, but buyers came in and lifted the NASDAQ off lows.
So with buyers coming in, we should also be prepared for this rally to continue, perhaps.
Yeah, I mean, there was a lot of, obviously there were some big decliners today, but a lot of growth stocks followed the market off lows, and we'll take a look at a few stocks today that performed well. But when you look through the growth screens, there were, a lot of growth stocks that found support where they should, and really the number of damaged charts out there with stocks, breaking support levels with conviction. Just didn't see that much of it today. So that's reason to be optimistic. The other thing I'll say is that we have been talking about a market, especially the NASDAQ, that's looking a bit extended. So the pullback today was not completely out of the blue, and pullbacks do serve to kind of reset and shake out sellers and give growth stocks a chance to catch their breath. And so it was a quick pullback today. So the jury is still out, but it was compelling price action today.
Right. We will remain flexible. And investors who did that and didn't panic this morning saw a couple of buying opportunities, including with InMode finding support where it needed to at its 50-day line, coming down to that level, but reversing higher and closing the day up 2%. Ken, a strong name in the medical equipment group.
Yeah, exactly. And this was just as good a price action as we could have hoped for today. Not a lot of volume. That's been sort of a a common theme. But you can see InMode came all the way down to its 50-day moving average, reversed higher. Not only did it reverse higher, but it reversed higher for a gain of about 2%. So this stock still looks actionable here. We're about to enter second quarter earnings season. So we want to be careful of putting new positions on in stocks when they're very close to reporting earnings. So I got to be careful with that. But really nice technical action in mode today.
Yeah, about a month or so, maybe a little less ahead of InMode's quarterly report. So we'll keep tabs on that. And Roku, which saw a big run up in the prior couple of weeks, quite a few up days in big volume in a row. It's been pulling back, came down almost to its 21-day line today, but was able to reverse higher itself and gained about 0.3% for the day. But do you think the action like this presented an opportunity to perhaps add to an existing position, or is it still too early in the development of this
Yeah,
handle?
I would say it's still a little too early. I just look at Roku as just a stock that showed nice accumulation, signs of institutional buying as the stock uh, rallied past the 400 level, a lot of above average volume price gains. And then you look at the 3 times the stock declined over the past several days. Those declines pretty much came, at least 2 out of the 3 came in very, very light volume. And this is just a classic handle taking shape. So we would call this a cup with handle base with the buy point being right there. Yeah, right at the top of the handle. Kind of a steep trend line there. I would wait for this stock to, let's see. And how the market is going to perform here. Good session today, but let's see what tomorrow brings. And I would just wait for Roku to possibly try a breakout attempt from this handle area, and that would be a breakout over the high point in the handle. So not ready yet, but good upside reversal today on a down session for the market, and this is just a classic setup.
Well, no doubt Roku is a leader of the past and it's carving up the right side of this space. So watch list worthy. But what about Upwork, UPWK, in the commercial services staffing group, which we've noted has increased pretty significantly, at least notably, in the industry group rankings, now at 20 out of 197, also forming a handle.
Yeah, I just wanted to revisit Upwork. This is a company that's a very unique business model. They basically connect freelancers with employers, and there's a big freelance population out there. So, and you can see the revenue growth has been very impressive in recent quarters. Kind of a similar setup to Roku. Just another stock forming a handle here. Came down to its 21-day moving average today. Closed lower on the session, but up near its session high. So there were buyers in there supporting the stock at the 21-day line. Again, I would wait for really a decisive move over the 60 level here for a buy. And at 55, people say, well, why don't you just buy it at 55? We just need to see the stock prove itself and look for renewed signs of institutional buying if the stock is going to start working its way higher. But a classic handle forming here, and another good one for the watch list.
Yeah, and we have earnings at the end of the month confirmed for the 29th. So just a couple of weeks away. So depending on how the action shapes up over the next couple of days or weeks, if it can't get above that 60 level with enough time before earnings, it might be a judgment call to see if you can get a cushion heading into a report. Maybe look at the expected move, or earnings might be that catalyst for the breakout.
Yeah, exactly. And, second quarter earnings season is really going to start to really kick in next week. We had a bunch of financial stocks set to report. Also interested to hear what Taiwan Semiconductor has to say. They're expected to report another quarter of strong sales, but, times are challenging for the chip makers right now under a lot of selling pressure. So we'll see what the start of second quarter earnings season looks like next week.
Well, it's a busy time for us, but we love it. And so we're looking forward to covering all of the earnings news. Thanks for your analysis, Ken. And thank you all for tuning in. We're going to continue the discussion tomorrow morning on IBD Live, where we're joined by Brian Shannon, noted swing trader and technician. Looking forward to having him back on the show. Go to investors.com/IBD Live for all the details. We'll see you tomorrow, everyone. Thanks for watching.